So welcome everyone to this episode of my Create tutorial series. In this episode, we will be focusing on gravel. So, in the base Create mod and a few other mods, there are only two ways to get gravel. You can crush it through crushing wheels, or you can mill it through a millstone. So I have built the three main ways that you would want to use for cobblestone production, basically, or from cobblestone to gravel. And that is how you would do it. You have to put cobblestone and then turn it into gravel, which can be hooked up to one of these machines to be pumped in directly. Instead of having to do that, I just used creative crates. So we have this one is technically the most efficient as it produces a full stack per, and it is quite a bit more. It is the most efficient, but it does take up a lot of space and a lot of stress units to do. Being that it is on belts, it is very efficient for items, and you don't have any pile up like the vertical one over here, which does have a lot of items sitting inside of it that just pump out, and depending on how you want the item input, since I'm using Creative Crate, it just never stops and it will sit there piling up, and that's how that basically does it. The millstone, which is a significantly cheaper version of the crushing wheel, and I believe you can get to a millstone without having to go to the nether. It is fairly cheap, and it's pretty easy to set up. Will only process one item at a time, and it's the speed for both of these. How fast it is rotating depends on how fast it processes the items. So the faster you can get this moving, the faster it'll go. And it only produces one at a time. Or two at a time, apparently. One or two at a time. And it will go. This one will operate with funnels on either side on top of a belt. And works that way. Fairly straightforward. This one requires gravity and will push it through that way. This is definitely the least efficient of the three. Well, it's the second most efficient. Okay, and that's basically all the three that we have going on here. These can be used in different applications, and sometimes it may be better to use this one or this one, depending on your machines that you are building and that you need gravel or sand from. So, and in terms of ranking these, I would rank this one as the top one because it is the most efficient, and it is the most easily, it is pretty easy to figure out and set up. Just make sure that you have a shaft and two gearboxes pushing into it, and they will be rotating opposite the direction of the belt, in the correct direction for the belt. This one is the third most efficient, but I would rank it second because it is more compact than this one or this one, and may be better for your other farms if you're doing, like, say, an iron farm or something else related to it. So I would rank this one second, and I would rank this one third because it just drops items through here and it leaves a very large pileup of blocks on top, depending on how you have it going, and it is not remarkably more efficient than this. And since this one uses the belts as the intermediary item storage, so it doesn't have any unnecessary overflow, if that makes sense. And I'm just going to break that so I don't have any more popping out of that. So that is basically what we have going on here for this, and that is gravel production. So next episode, we will be focusing on sand production and how that operates and how it differs from gravel production. So stay tuned for the next episode. Bye.